Do not ever, 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 ever tolerate less than you deserve. Hey there, welcome back to my channel, the best place for all the coaches, entrepreneurs, personal brands, anybody who's trying to grow their influence and impact and freedom online by using the latest social media strategies. You've landed in the right place. My name is Jelena Ostrovska from JelenaOstrovska.com. Super excited to see you here. If you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell sign down below to get notified whenever I publish new videos, which is every single week. So welcome to 2020. This is the first video that I'm publishing on my channel this year, and it's also a special video which I have never really published before, but it is kind of a birthday edition. And since I'm turning 25 and it's a big year, people say quarter of a century, so it does sound pretty big, and I just wanted to share with you the biggest 25 lessons that I had learned of being in business for nearly 7 years now, coming up on 7 years. So let's dive right into it. Lesson number 1, you don't need a college to become successful. So this is one of the biggest beliefs that I used to think of, was the fact that I needed to go to college, I needed to get a degree, I had to have everything figured out, I had to, take every single step, go to school, go to get a degree, get a job, retire. That was my initial thinking of life until I came to entrepreneurship. So I'm here to tell you that almost everything can be learned online these days. You really don't need a degree unless you want to become a doctor, a lawyer, any specific profession that just by nature requires you to have one. Number 2, get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because all the magic that you're looking for, it all lies down outside of the comfort zone. So we are not taught at schools how to record videos. We don't know how to run YouTube channels. We don't know how to do taxes. We don't know so many different things that I feel like should be taught at schools and universities as well. But the thing is, unless you get uncomfortable, you can't live a comfortable lifestyle. So keep that in mind. Number 3, travel as much as you possibly can. So I was writing a Facebook post the other day about the past decade, and I kind of did a little breakdown, not only for myself but for my audience, just to kind of put it into perspective what can be done in a pretty short amount of time. And I realized that in the last 10 years I had done so much travel that I didn't even think that it was that much until I actually wrote it down. So obviously, me being 25, not having a family yet, or kids, or husbands, or a lot of responsibilities that most people would have probably by that age, or the people have later on in life. So I definitely took advantage of all the time, and I highly encourage you to do the same. If you can travel at least a couple times a year, or maybe every other month, or at least have 1 or 2 vacations per year by yourself, or with your family, or with your significant other, or however it fits you and your lifestyle and your current life best. But trust me, the experiences are absolutely worth everything. So highly recommend for you to do that as well. Lesson number 4, speaking of travel, sometimes, we all tend to book or think about different things, or travels, or flights, or hotels way early, way before those happen. At least I know, my family have always taught me that way, and I know my family, especially my dad, have always been, very much in advance. And I turned into a person who books her flights one way, and then I figure out where I'm gonna be coming, where I'm gonna be coming next. So that has been basically how I spent half of the year in 2019. Literally booked a one-way flights to El Salvador, to Central America, and the rest was basically figured out in the next couple of months. And then I came back home being like 3.5 months away from home, but it still worked out way better having not booked anything in advance and kind of having, letting it go with the flow. Trust me, I'm here to tell you, I'm a green personality who always tries to have everything planned out, everything perfect. But nobody has ever died from a little bit of spontaneity. So, just keep that in mind, that last minute is not always the worst idea. Number 5, and I know this is totally going to contradict the previous point, but plan, and plan once again. Did I say plan? So Here's the deal. So when it comes to travel, planning is important, yet sometimes it's okay to go a little bit with the flow. That always works out fine. At the end of the day, you're gonna be fine. Trust me, I haven't died. You're not gonna die from that either. But when it comes to everything else that needs to be done while you're traveling, that has to be planned. So one of the things that has really helped me personally out with traveling is me having a lot of videos pre-recorded, a lot of my content pre-planned, pre-recorded, pre-uploaded to my computer. So that's one of my top priorities every single time I travel. I know the thing that has to be done before I leave is record all my YouTube content. So, and yes, I did slack a little bit last year. I mean, I had some technology issues and some, time issues and things like that, but still, make sure that you plan for your business as much as you possibly can, so you can, offload your work by either hiring somebody to help you out, by either pre-scheduling your content, organizing it, making sure that you know what you're doing every single day and every single week in your business while you're traveling. That's going to help you a ton, because if you don't have that done prior to you getting on the airplane, trust me, your business and you are really going to be struggling, because whenever you are away from home, whenever you are abroad, you don't want to be spending 24/7 on your computer. And definitely, I mean, it's just not something you really want to deal with. Like, you always want to enjoy the place that you're at. Number 6, get in the mastermind, because it's really hard to do this business by yourself. Okay, we join the business, we become entrepreneurs, but then we forget about the fact that you are going to be by yourself most of the time. So if you really want to fast track your success, as much as I don't really enjoy that word a lot of the times, but it's gonna help you so much when you have somebody else to share ideas and powwow and brainstorm and feed off of each other's brains, and also feed off of each other's weaknesses and strengths. If you have a strength in one area and your mastermind partner has a strength in another area, you can always learn from each other. So join a mastermind group. Number 7, personal development changes everything. Trust me, had I not started doing my personal development several, like 5-6 years ago, we would likely not see this video ever again. So if I can tell you one thing and one lesson and one piece of advice that you can implement every single day in your life, is at least 15 minutes or 30 minutes of personal development every single day. Either it's a book, an audiobook, a podcast, a YouTube video just like this, where you learn something new and you not only improve your mindset, but also learn something that can propel your business forward marketing-wise. Number 8, make sure that you watch your language, because the things you say are always going to manifest into the reality. So if you are not someone who has a positive self-talk, and instead you constantly have that negative self-talk and you're saying things like, oh my gosh, I gained so much weight, oh my gosh, I'm so fat, oh, I'm so stupid, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough. Trust me, that thing is going to rub off on you, and you want to get rid of that language as fast as you possibly can. So it's not serving you, it's not serving anybody, and it's just going to keep you stuck, because if you keep saying things, I'm not making enough sales, I'm not doing this, my videos are not picking up on YouTube, nobody is seeing my content, that's exactly what's going to keep happening to you. So watch your language. Number 9 is going to be pretty quick, but it's very, very important, because for me, I always have, not always, but at times I have certain times when I get into a funk and then I don't know how to get out of it. So we also call it a bit of a depression. So do not stay in depression mode for longer than 24 hours, because all that's going to lead you to is constant bitching at yourself, complaining, trying to figure out why life is so unfair to you, and that's not helping you move yourself out of that hole. It doesn't help you in any way, shape, or form. If you want to feel depressed, give yourself 24 hours and then get out of it. Like, you literally have to snap out of it and focus on something else. Number 10, be really, really careful of who you surround yourself with. So we all know that Zig Ziglar said that you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So be really, really mindful, because sometimes the closest people in your life can be the most dangerous people. They're just going to rob you of your dreams. And if you have those people by your side constantly who are telling you What are you doing with your life? Are you really serious about this internet thing? Are you really sure this is gonna work for you? Are you really sure about this or that? Honestly, that's just not gonna work out really well for anybody. It's not gonna work out well for them or for you. So you're gonna be better off just cutting them out of your life or trying to spend less time with them. And with that being said, we move on to advice number 11. Bring in more positive and like-minded people into your life. Enough said about it. You're the average of the 5 people you hang around with, and you better make sure that those 5 people are smart. You better make sure that they are on the right path. You better make sure that they also have maybe similar goals and vision, and you can support each other and not tear each other down. Number 12, communication is the foundation of relationships and businesses. If there's one skill set that you absolutely have to master, that's going to be communication, because that is something that you're using on a consistent basis with, your day-to-day communication and interaction with other people, your family, your friends. It's the way you present yourself on video. It's the way you talk on the phone. It's the way you talk on, Zoom calls and presentations. And it's also the way you speak on stage, if that's one of the things that you're doing. So you have to make sure that you have that plan to improve your communication on a consistent basis. Number 13, make sure that you also keep your health in check, because honestly, yes, you can be focused on your business, yes, you can be consumed by your business, but at the same time, you can't let your health go to trash, because no money is ever going to buy you new health. Let's just face that. So you need to make sure that you take your water every single day. So I got mine over here, at my, home office. You got to make sure that you're eating the right food. That's number 2. And you got to make sure that you're exercising. That's number 3. No matter what you do, no matter where you are, no matter where you travel, how much time you spend away from home, it doesn't matter. You have to be committed to your health. And don't get me wrong, sometimes we do have a cheat day if it's a holiday. Sometimes we do have, a cheat couple days if it's, like long holidays like Christmas and New Year's Eve. And then, me being Russian, we have another Christmas on January 7th. So it is something that you just have to prioritize no matter where you're at. So it's okay to have those cheat days, but make sure that you then get back to your routine. And think about it. You should not be making excuses about not exercising when you will literally have apps and so many different things available at our fingertips that you really don't have excuses to make. So you can take 5 minutes, you can take 15 minutes, at least something just to get your butt moving. Number 14, learn to let go. Either that's going to be emotions, either that's going to be feelings, either that's going to be people. If something is not serving you, if something is not making you a better person, just learn to let go. Because trust me, whatever you're holding on to, if you're holding some kind of grudge, if you're holding on to some kind of negative emotion, if you're still holding on to that ex that you know is not really going to come back into your life, is not even really good for you, just let that go and instead focus on what's important right now, focus on what's going to serve you right now, and move forward. Number 15, procrastination and perfectionism kill businesses. Try to prove me wrong, but I'm the kind of person who has always been trying to make things perfect. I have been a big overthinker in the last couple of years, and I have overthought so many business decisions to the point where I just said, I'm just gonna wait until this happens and then I'm gonna launch this. I'm gonna wait until I have my audience up to 1,000 people on YouTube and then I'm gonna, launch a membership. Or I'm gonna wait until I have 10,000 people on my email list and then I'm gonna launch a course. So do not say those things to you, because the more you procrastinate, the more you overthink, the longer it really takes for you to make that progress. And you always have to be focused on progress over perfection. That's how you get better, and it can be uncomfortable, but you know what did I say in the beginning of this video? You have to get out of that comfort zone, because that's where all the magic happens. That's how you're gonna make all the money that you want to make in the world, and ultimately you're gonna become a better leader like that. Number 16. So this is a big one because it is a very practical advice and I think you're gonna love this. Make sure that whenever you're growing a business, you're focused on not only your passive income, but also on your active income. So the money that you're making faster from fewer clients. So, and I'll give you an example. So depending what kind of business model you're in, you could be in network marketing, you could be a coach, you could be, personal brand who's trying to, grow that online. Maybe you have different opportunities for people to work with you. Maybe you have a high ticket coaching, maybe you have a membership site, maybe you have some kind of software. No matter what it is, you cannot be just focused on growing that passive income, because passive income does take time. I've been in network marketing. I know how much time and how much effort it takes to grow that passive income to at least $500 a month, to at least $1,000, and sometimes you can't even live off of that. So instead of you just solely focusing on that, make sure that you have another way for people to work with you, to where you can be making, like $500 per sale or $1,000 per sale or more, right? Depending on the kind of services that you're offering. But it's way easier to hit your monthly income goals, especially if it's, $5,000 or $10,000 a month. It's way easier to hit that by having less sales, meaning less customers for you who are going to pay more, but you're going to be able to give them more time, more energy, more of your attention, and you're still going to be able to build up your passive income, but at the time you're going to have your active income, help you hit those monthly goals. So focus on that too. Number 17. This is a big one because it took me a while to grasp that particular lesson. It literally took me, probably over a year, if not 2 years, to really understand that. But just because you haven't done something in the past doesn't mean you cannot do that. Just because you haven't done something in the past doesn't mean you're not going to be able to do that. So a lot of the times we think to ourselves, oh my gosh, I've never made more than 30 sales in a single month. Doesn't mean you can't do 60. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean you can have more than, 100 people buy your product in a month if you've never done that before. Okay, so we all have different goals, we all have different aspirations, we all have different vision, but if you think you can't make $1 million in a year just because you've never done that, that's a bunch of BS. Excuse my language, but that's just the reality. We all have different goals that we know we have not accomplished yet, but we're working hard towards them. So instead of you trying to stay, in that negative state of mind that, oh, I've never done this, so I'm not sure if I can, instead, make sure that you switch your mindset to the positive and, look at other people, look at others, because there's so many people who have achieved way more than you with less resources, with maybe being less skilled or less qualified than you are. And you're over here just sitting and saying excuses, trying to explain why you're not as successful as them. I mean, they were just the ones who basically took the bull by its horns and, just decided to go for it without overthinking, without trying to be perfect, without procrastination, and also without thinking about what all the mistakes they did in the past. Number 18. So this is a very practical one that I had kind of learned the hard way. So for me personally, it's very important for me to keep all my digital files safe. And I used to think that I was doing a pretty good job because I was keeping most of them in several different places. And for me personally, I don't have a lot of space on my computer. I don't have a lot of space on my phone. I mean, both have like 128 gigabytes, which is about it. But that's not much that you can do. When you build a bigger business, you do need to have more space. And one thing that has happened to me, so I've been using an external hard drive for about 3 years. And last year, literally while I was still in the United States, while I was still traveling, it just decided it doesn't want to work anymore. And I basically lost all my files, at least, as of the recording of this video. I still have not recovered anything. Already sent my hard drive to multiple different places, to get checked. Everybody said that, you can't really restore anything. So I've lost about 3 or 4 years of my work. I lost a lot of photos. I lost about 5 months or 4 months worth of video content that I had recorded on YouTube, which is also another reason why I haven't been on YouTube for like a month or over a month at this point, or even over 2 months. So my lesson to you is make sure that you back up all of your data at least in 2 different places, because you never know what's going to happen to one of them. And especially if you're still the kind of user like me who likes external hard drive and it's, just easier for you to use them, make sure that like all the data that you send to your hard drive, you also send it to a cloud like Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive, whatever. It doesn't matter which one you go, all of them get the same job done. At this point for me, I have 3 cloud services that I'm using. I'm using iCloud, I'm using Dropbox, which I've been using for about 3 years now, and I'm also using Google Drive right now because it's also a good service. So just FYI, do not store all your data, your entire business in just one place, because you're going to be crying probably as much as I did. You're going to be as sad and depressed as I have for at least a month when you can't really restore anything. And even if you can restore it, usually it is very, very expensive. So it is up to you if you want to pay, like a multiple 3-figure price or sometimes even a 4-figure price. So yeah, just learn my lesson. Do not ever store your files in just one place. And honestly, another thing is, you have to keep in mind that if you do have an external hard drive, do not take it with you on trips, because it has been with me on every single trip for the last 3 years. And I did not know that, but apparently when you go through security, when you go through all those, custom checks and all those scanners at the airports, that hard drive does get corrupted. It does get affected, should I say. I mean, your computer is not going to get as affected as the hard drive, and apparently mine was just like, okay, 3 years, I've had enough. Let's, you can kind of bury me right now. So do not ever store all your data in just one place, especially if that place is going to be a hard drive, because those things do not really live for a long time. And even if you do want to use one to where you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to pay for a cloud service, just get an SSD card. It's basically gonna look like a hard drive as well. It's gonna be an external one, but it's an SSD, the same that you have inside of your computer, your laptop, or your bigger computer, and it's just one that's going to be external that you can carry with you. Lesson number 19: your current situation is the result of your choices. So be really wise about whatever you're choosing, about whatever you're deciding to do on a daily basis, because everything that you have at this point is basically the result of your choices over the last 12 months. Which leads me to point number 20. Your habits are the exact things that are going to shape you into the person that you are right now. So if you are, not happy, if you're not healthy, if you're, overweight, you don't consider yourself pretty, that's all the result of the habits that you have been consistent with for the last at least 90 days, sometimes 180, sometimes even 12 months. So if you are not happy with your current situation, you have to change the habits, and you have to basically throw into the trash the habits that have not been serving you, and instead replace them with the serving habits. Lesson number 21. So complaining is one of those things, we all do that, but let me tell you, do not be in a complaint mode for longer than 5 minutes, because you're gonna find yourself in that situation where you feel like the world is unfair, or your clients suck, or you have just such a time-consuming project, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I really wish it would have been better, I really wish for that, I really wish for this. And then in reality, all you have to do is just stop, literally count for 5 minutes, set that timer, complain all you want, go vent to your friend. That's usually what I do. If something is not making me happy, if something is making me frustrated, I go vent for however long, and then immediately switch and go look for a solution. Because if you're complaining about something, likely that is some kind of problem, likely there is some kind of challenge, and if there is a problem, there's always going to be a solution. Trust me on that one. Which is our lesson number 22. I literally just said that to you. If there is a problem, there's always going to be a solution. Trust me, there's not a single problem that is not figure outable. So just accept that as a fact. If you have something, go look for a solution. Do not bitch, do not complain, do not, vent for too long, do not annoy your friends and family. Immediately go look for a solution. If you don't know where, start with Google. Literally, Google has been my best friend for a long time, and that's how I figured out most of the problems that I had to deal with until this point. Lesson number 23. Do not ever tolerate less than you deserve. If you don't like how somebody treats you, tell them. If you don't like how somebody is treating you like a person, like a significant other, personal relationships, friendship relationships, it doesn't matter. You always have to tell people and be honest about how you feel that, something could be wrong, something may not be making you as happy as you want to be. So just tell them. And a lot of the times, if you're not happy about the whole situation at all, you may have to let go completely. As sad as it sounds, but I had to do this. I wasn't happy in some relationships, and I was like, you know what? I'm better off, being elsewhere and sometimes being by myself than being in a place where I'm being mistreated. Lesson 24, so we're getting close to an end already. Learn to ask questions. So the better questions you ask and the more questions you ask, the better and bigger your business is going to be. And I actually had learned that from Tony Robbins. He said the exact same thing. The moment you start asking better questions, everything is going to change. So, and I've noticed this myself. The moment I ask questions, I get better. I always learn something new. I learned something that was definitely missing from my life and business. And I notice this with my own students as well. The ones who don't ask questions, they don't get ahead. They literally stay stuck in the same place for a very long time. And the ones who come up to me every other day or every single week or every single time we have a coaching call or something, they always get ahead because they ask a question, they go implement. They ask a question, they go implement. So if you really want to build a bigger business, you have to become curious, because curiosity is not something that's going to get you killed here, but curiosity is something that's going to help you move yourself and your business forward. And last but certainly not least, make sure that you actually have fun, because here's the deal. What's the point of making all the money? What's the point of all that hard work, all the hustle, all the grind, 24/7, sleepless nights? What's the point of all of that if you can't enjoy the fruits of your labor? So make sure that you take some of those days like completely off. If you're going on a vacation, if you're, spending the time with your family, if it's a holiday, if it's your birthday, just take those days off. Enjoy the time without the technology. Enjoy the time with your people. Don't be too stressed out about work, because trust me, the world is not going to go on fire if you leave your computer for 24 hours. And if you have some problems that you're like, Jelena, I really don't know if I can do this, trust me, it's still going to be there and you're still going to be able to solve it, unless there's absolutely something like completely urgent, it requires your attention right now. Then obviously, you have to be there and you have to be present. But otherwise, if you can outsource that task, if you can have somebody else to help you, then go and take your break and enjoy that. So there you go. That's probably one of the longest videos that I'm ever publishing to YouTube. I'm likely not going to have anyone like this. So I really hope you enjoyed this, but these have been, so many lessons that I had learned, just by being in business in the last nearly 7 years. So I hope you like those. I hope you take those to heart, because had I known all of this when I was 18 and just starting out, that would have totally saved me a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money, a lot of frustration, a lot of nerves, and a lot of moments being depressed. I really hope you were taking some notes as well. So if you did like this video, drop a like down below, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos just like this, leave a comment down below and let me know which one was your favorite lesson out of this 25. And be sure to hit that bell sign down below this video, because next week I'm going to be publishing a brand new video where we're going to break down if it's too late to start on YouTube in 2020, because we're already in January. Me at least, I'm out of the holiday mood. I'm so ready to, get back to work and get to content, get to sales, get to marketing, client calls and everything. But we're still kind of questioning, is it a good time to go on YouTube, because there's so many changes being made. There's so many changes that have already been implemented. So next week, that's the topic of the hour. So next Tuesday, look out for the channel video. So hit that bell sign to get notified when that video goes live, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.